Hello, here I am, just looking down and not paying attention. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully, y'all can hear me okay. Um, Hang on a second. There. It's better. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I'm live. I always have to make sure that I'm live because technology, right? Technology. So, oh, look, YouTube actually notified me that I'm live. So that's fantastic. Okay. So let me turn myself down so I don't have this annoying echo. Okay. So, what are we going to chat about today? First of all, welcome. Welcome to the tea break. Hopefully, you are here to get a little bit of sanity and what might be a crazy week. I got some things to talk about. Not, but this is a tea break. So, a little light conversation in the middle of a work week. Hi, I'm Dr. Sasheen. If you've never tuned in before, welcome to the tea break. If you are a returner, welcome to the tea break. Uh, oh, hang on. So many buttons. If you start pushing buttons, StreamYard starts doing crazy things. Anyway, welcome to the tea break. This is our Tuesday morning. We've been up for a while. Monday was probably crazy. The rest of the week is looming before us, and the world has a habit of being a bit too dramatic. And this is your drama-free zone. This is a place where we're cultivating some community over a little tea, a little conversation for just a little slice of the day. So, welcome to the tea break. And I hope that you have brought yourself something lovely to drink as we just chit chat about whatever. If I'm talking to myself and you're catching this as a replay because I don't have anyone live, please say hello whenever you come in to let me know that you're here. I am making hot water as if you good morning, Cicely. If you know me, you know that I like a good kettle going, so the kettle's going in the background. Today we are doing a Moroccan mint, Numi Moroccan mint, organic herbal. Now, I don't love mint tea because it tends to be, give me a second. The kettle is kettling. Most tea, mint tea, in my estimation, is too strong. Like it's almost medicinal. It's so strong. So I'm not a huge fan of mint tea unless I'm not feeling well, which is why I keep a box of mint tea in the house. If you ever have nausea or just phlegm or whatnot, it's great for that, right? But for the most part, at least for me, most mint tea, it's just it's spearmint, um, which I don't like spearmint, so it's not it's just too strong for me. Or peppermint, which is also very spicy. But this Moroccan mint is a little bit sweeter, and so it doesn't have that bite to it that I feel like mint has. Part of the problem, I think, is because so much of the world is mint flavored, and mint flavoring is very potent because it's concentrated and it's very chemically tasting. So I don't like it. I don't like mint toothpaste. I don't like mint mouthwash. I don't like mint just about in any way, shape, or form because it's overly strong. But every once in a while, I want a little tip. So I've been having some um, issues, some sniffly issues. So I'm drinking a cup of mint tea this morning to help bring some of that stuff out because, seasons are changing. Pollen is here. Lemongrass tea. Ooh, now see, I like a good lemongrass. I do have to say, I like a good lemongrass. This new me is Egyptian mint tea leaves. It's called Moroccan mint, but the box tells me that the leaves are an Egyptian sweet mint. So I just like it a little bit better. But again, mint never going to be my favorite. But today, it's being used as a medicinal, and I think that's exactly what I'm supposed to be using it for. So, welcome to our step away from the drama that is the world in some ways. Let me get my little mint steeping because the one thing about mint that I have learned is the longer you steep it, the more potent it gets, which is with all tea, right? But mint especially. So I want to go ahead and start my little steeping process because I don't let it steep very long. I like a weak mint tea. Okay, we've got kettle, we've got hot water. Let's get her done. We'll do about half a cup of that one. And for those of you who are keeping up with my cups, this is the one today. It has owls on it because I love owls. Um, okay, so, you know, I woke up this morning I'm telling you. I woke up this morning and I don't tend to check social media first thing in the morning, but I wanted to make sure that the notification for tea time had posted, for the tea break had posted. So I went into Facebook to make sure that it had, because sometimes Facebook, even if you set an automatic posting in the business center, for some reason it doesn't post, which um, was really annoying. So I went out there to check. Hang on. Oh, thank you. These are some of my favorites. I bought them at a gem and mineral show years and years ago. I love gem and minerals shows because I love to get fun gem-based earrings. Um, and these are, let me get this close, some of my favorites. I've had these earrings are older than my child. Don't tell him that. Anyway, so I don't tend to focus. Good morning, Michelle. I don't tend to focus much on social media first thing in the morning because obviously the world did not explode because I'm still here. So whatever it is, I'll get to it. But this morning I need to go into Facebook to make sure the notification for this had posted. And child, listen, I was just like, do people just wake up on the bad side of the world? Like, what's happening that I have to get up early? So I teach college class. I'm a college professor, been for over 20 years. And I don't do mornings, but right now I'm on a morning schedule. I'm trying to figure out. I know that I live in the central time zone. I get it. But daggone it, are folks just getting up at like 5 a.m. to be pissed off at things? I know things are happening. I mean, I understand that life is lifing. But are we just waking up on the wrong side of the world? Like, what's going on? Whatever happened to taking a beat in the morning before letting the world in to just whew, right? Oh, good morning, Wendy. To just take a beat. So I log into Facebook just to make sure that my post is out there, and it did post, which was fine. But since I'm out there, obviously all of my notifications come on because I don't have notifications on for Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and you follow me, or you if I follow you and you do something, I don't know what happens until I log into Facebook. I don't have notifications turned on for any social media except YouTube because it's part of the business aspect of it. I need to keep up with things. Um, but even then I can kind of work around the YouTube ones, but I don't have any other notifications turned on. So I don't get all of these notifications until I log in. So when you log in, right, boom, like all the notifications happen. And I was just like, y'all, just go back to bed. I'm gonna start instituting to go back to bed. When you are feeling this overwhelmed first thing in the morning, you got up too soon. You got up too soon. You want to go, let's just go back to bed. Let's go back to bed. Give yourself a chance to sleep it off a little bit, take the edge off, because the start of our day, whatever time you wake up, shouldn't be fraught with feelings of fight or flight at 8 a.m. is too much. Right? Like fight or flight at 8 a.m. is too much. I just feel like we are getting away from what we're supposed to be focusing on, which is our sense of well being, our sense of stability. The rules of engagement are very clear. Your peace is non negotiable. Why are you waking up at the crack of dawn to yell at people on the interwebs? Because my peace, thank you. I don't interact with negative people unless it's unavoidable. I feel that. I feel that. Absolutely. This is a choice. This is a choice that we all get to make. And I feel like too many people are making the choice to engage in the trolls. They're engaging the trolls. So, you get the honey. As you all know, we like to add a little raw honey to our tea. So we grab a spoon. Give me just a moment. There's a lot of rage baiting right on the interwebs, especially right now. Because let's face it, clicks make money if you're on platforms and that's your content. And people are very much wanting to be rage baited. See, I didn't let this steep for very long because with men, it just teas get stronger and stronger the more they steep. And I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Um, and so the clicks are what pays people's bills, and I get it. But I'd rather bankrupt a few folks than let them bankrupt my peace. Right. I would just rather bankrupt a few folks than let them get me all worked up so that they could pay their rent. And I want you to pay your rent. It's not that I don't want you to pay your rent. I just want you to not do it by compromising my sense of stability. And too many people are letting their sense of stability be compromised because we want to click. We don't want to be left out of the conversation, right? Like it's just we don't want to feel like we're missing out or that we're not going to know something's happened when it's happening and then be able to respond to it. And I get that, but it's just okay. Let me check in on the comments. Yes, absolutely blowing out their adrenal glands, completely destabilizing their body systems, their physiology. Stress and that constant fight or flee, right? Like that constant state of that has made it impossible for people to hear when something actually needs to be done because everything is a for alarm fire, which means nothing is really on fire. Because if everything's on fire, then nothing's really on fire to you because you can't pay attention to everything. So you just pay attention to nothing. And people then start to just check out when they really do need to lean in, right? They do need to lean in, not to do more of the same, but to see where they can make a real difference in their life, in the life of their community. So um, honey and a splash of cream. This sounding fantastic here, Cecilia. I'm gonna need to try some of this tea. Um, Michelle says it's hard to stick to it, but I am all about team. I am team get rid of them. I am absolutely team get rid of them. I did a video, it's been a while. I might have to find it and push it back up to the top where I talk about the kinds of people that we should have in our world, right? The kinds of people that are going to make our lives better, the healers, the seekers, the people that should be in our circle. And if the people in your circle don't fall into these categories, then you need to get rid of them. Like you need to put them out. And it wasn't very I wasn't focusing on the negative per se. I was just talking about when you're in a place where your life needs peace and the people around you love and crave drama, you what are you doing with these people? They're not peacemakers, they're not healers, they're not helpers. They're none of the things that make life worth being here for, right? And so let's just move them out of the way. Let's just move them on. Too much FOMO is not good. Nope, it's not. But the fear of missing out drives people to do a lot of things, lots of crazy things. So I went to the bookstore this weekend, as Cicely knows, because I bought the book that we're going to start reading together. But I bought a few books because I joined a book club. For those of you who might be interested, we're doing a book club on Sundays live. My friend Mary, we're reading a couple of books and then we're live streaming it. So we're live streaming it. So, I'm being on camera more. So you'll see me show up. And if you're interested in the books that we read, we'll link to them and you're welcome to read them with us or pick them up. But I went and picked up a couple of good books. I like a lot of different kinds of books because I'm a writer, I'm a teacher, I write. And so books, and I've always been a reader. Oh boy, I've always been a reader. But I picked up my copy of 107 Days. Yes. Now, if you're new to my channel, and you didn't come from the video, The Rules of Engagement, which I put out 2 days after the election last year, you might be like, why did you buy this book? But if you are not new to my channel and you came to me from the video that I put out 2 days after the election called The New Rules of Engagement, you know why I bought this book. Because I want to hear from her perspective what took place in those 107 days. Okay, so I picked this up. I'm going to start reading it as soon as I think Cicely and I are going to read it together. If anybody else picks up a copy and wants to read it with us, please let me know. Um, yeah, I'm excited to read. I picked up some other books too. Like, I'm a book hoarder, right? Like, I'm a hoarder when it comes to only a few things because I've always been I'm a travel light. My desk is a mess back there, but it's in the process. I'm cleaning it. But when you know how when you clean something, you have to put everything out and then you can put everything back. That's where I am. That's the process of where the desk is. Anyway, I don't hoard a lot of things. I'm a book hoarder, but I've moved so many times over the years that you have to shed books, and over the years I've learned to just hoard the books that I really love, even though I will buy books. I will buy them, read them, and give them away. Or if I buy them and I realize I don't really want to read that anyway, I'll just give them to the library. So I'm also that person who will be like, here, library, take books, put them out there. Um, but I have to be careful because I have a stack of to be reads that just grows. And as the weather gets colder, my to be read stack gets larger because I'm in the house and I'm cold and I want to snuggle under a pillow or with a pillow and a blanket with a cup of tea that's cooling, and I'm gonna read a book. And I want some variety, right? I want some variety. I was feeling very British this morning. Well, oh, Wendy. So the book club that I'm a part of on Sundays, we go live on YouTube, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we are reading this next book. Hang on, it's called More Than Enough by Elaine Welteroth. So this is the book club for this week. This is what we're reading. If you're interested and you want to join us on Sundays on, I think it's either Facebook or YouTube that she kind of sends us live to. Um, for. So I'm reading that this week, and then when Cicely gets her copy of, because I'm not gonna read it without you. We're gonna go through this together. We're gonna read 107 Days together. But I'm also reading a book with my family. So see, I'm a reader, guys. I'm a reader. I told like I'm a hoarder. I'm a book hoarder, but I do like to read. Right, I do like to read. Oh, Michelle, I'm so sorry that you're still fighting COVID. I we're gonna send lots of love and healing to you. So, because I know that my friends had COVID for a long time. It's hard to shake it. It's just yeah. So yes, definitely take care of yourself and let us know what we can do. Me too. Are you a book hoarder too, Cicely? Because I definitely am a book hoarder. You can't see it, but there's a stack of books on that desk. I have bookshelves in my bedroom. I have bookshelves over here. Like there are bookshelves everywhere. And I have a lot of books. I got mine, Michelle, from Barnes and Noble. And if you buy it, I was in the store because we like to go to the bookstores and hang out. I know a dying art, but I love the bookstore, and I love that I still have a Barnes and Noble. But you get $3 off if you buy it from Barnes and Noble in the store. So which was just a nice perk that I didn't know I would get $3 off. But yeah. So if you happen to want to I think you can get that same deal off barnesandnoble.com if you want to buy it from them. But yes, absolutely support local bookstores if you can, black owned if you can. More this book here, sorry, I keep moving the computer. This book was supposed to be our book club selection last week, but I ordered it from a smaller bookseller and it got delayed. So we ended up reading a different book in book club last week. So just keep in mind that I love ordering from the smaller booksellers, but like Cicely and I were just talking about this morning. The post office isn't really delivering stuff like you think it's going to show up. So this book that I ordered was supposed to be here on Saturday of last week. It got here Monday, which was after I needed it because our book club was it was supposed to be your Friday, sorry, of last week. And I can read a book in a couple of days if I just sit down and do it. I can hammer it out. Um, but is it? They didn't get here until Monday. Like, what is wrong with the post office? Oh, I'm terrible at being sick. I am. We don't. We're that kind of family. Like I have um yeah, I'll take your books from you. I'll take them to the library if you want. I love that those they have those boxes now where you can put old books into them and they take them and they send them other places. Like books are unless they're just trash, obviously, in which case throw them away or recycle them because it's paper. But books are great. And then when we stop encouraging reading, we get into lots of trouble. Lots of trouble. Okay. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Okay. Oh, it's nice. But we don't throw away books. My father's a reader. My mother is a reader. I get it straight from them. I grew up around a house full of books, like books, art, and music. That's how I grew up. So that's what I love. Oh, but we all get emotional. I'm a terrible sick person. I just want you to leave me alone. Like, literally, just leave me alone. I don't require much, but just leave me alone. Don't feel like you have to talk to me because I'm sick. So I applaud you for even coming into our session, right? Because I'd be like, y'all, listen, I'm sick. I'm staying in bed. I'll talk to y'all next week. Um, ma'am, I do like the service that tells me things are coming because when this book that we were supposed to read last week was delayed, I did get the notification that it was going to be delayed with enough time to go buy and to go get a different book. Um, I ended up reviewing the 4 Hour Work Week for our book club. I'll tell you about it later. Don't buy it. I can give you the really good bits in a nutshell and save you $36, which is what I spent. But too much of that book is very bro coded, as I like to say. It's very bro coded. And so, hang on a second. I don't know that you definitely need to read it. So, okay. That's a good question. Usually, the USPS is a separate entity, so it is a governmental entity technically, but it's its own thing. And I know during COVID, it ran just fine. And we've had government shutdowns before, and the mail still ran. So I don't think it gets impacted by government shutdown. Um, your book nook in my I need a book nook. My porch is my book nook. When the mosquitoes aren't biting, I'll go outside and sit in one of the big chairs and just read. So yeah. Your friend of the yes, the Friends of the Library. That's perfect. I used to belong to that a long time ago. I guess I should probably redo that again. Um, yeah, libraries are the lifebloods of communities. When communities don't have a library, and then they just don't do as well, right? Like they just don't have that sense of community. Our library has what they call a maker studio. So my son and I will be getting our library cards. We haven't yet, I know, but just bear with me. But they have a maker studio, and in the maker studio, they have all the machine stuff. Like you can do 3D printing and laser cutting and die cutting, and you can make um all kinds of cool things. They have all these like saws and all kinds of stuff, right? At the library. You can check out little maker kits with soldering guns and hot glue guns so you can make stuff at home. And it's like, where else in your space do you have access to cutting edge technology for the price of a library card? For the not even for the price of a library card, right? Because library cards are free. You literally pay them with your taxes. And it's just such an amazing concept that anything that you could possibly want to do is at your fingertips at a public library. Now, people give libraries a bad rap. I've lived in really great portions of cities and I've lived in some pretty sketchy parts of town. There's always a library. And that library in the sketchiest part of town may not have had all this cool stuff, and so I don't take for granted that the fact that I live in a place that has some of this stuff, but I didn't even know this existed. Like I didn't even know there was a such thing called the Maker Studio. But one of the big companies here, capitalism is doing something nice, right? Donated money to create this studio space where people could come and learn how to use all of these cool things. So my son's working on a project to create a sign for his room, and we're going to get to go to the studio, and we're going to get to use their cutters and their 3D printers. And yeah, it's just going to be fun. And I love that. I'm a community girl. I like feeling like we're part of the community. It is an essential agency. Yeah, you won't lose. We shouldn't lose the postal service. We shouldn't. We shouldn't. So, all right. Um, yeah, I want I want us to get more creative, which kind of thank you, Cicely, because that actually brings us it segues us nicely back to the top of what I was saying, which is people are waking up unhappy and upset and out of their off their peace game. And people that I know are like the embodiment of Zen, are waking up angry. And I think, and they probably would hate for me to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because y'all know that I don't pull no punches. I think that part of what's happening in this time period is that we are being stripped away of the things that we have used to falsely protect us from reality. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, for a lot of people, before that person took office and started dismantling what we know to be this country, for a lot of people, it was really easy to ignore things happening to other people because they could drop their mask down, they could drop a curtain down between themselves and the realities that weren't their own. It's like those people who don't see color also can't figure out how come racism still exists. That's the same concept. It's, I can drop this curtain down and pretend like what's happening on the other side of that curtain just isn't real. And now we're in a time period where you just don't get to do that. And people are angry that the illusions that they lived by, that kept them from having to acknowledge that that the life that they lived came at the expense of other people's comfort, is gone, because now we're all uncomfortable. And so people are just angry about that. And but I think that's where we start healing ourselves. To hell with those people who don't want to be healed. I don't have time for them. But when I say we protect our peace, I'm talking to the women out there who recognize that not only is American illusions of stuff going down the tubes, but this is my opportunity to look at my life and figure out exactly where is it that my life needs to go to protect my legacy and my peace, and the illusions that allowed me to keep toxic relationships, right? To stay in bad jobs, because illusions work both ways. It keeps out the stuff that we don't want to see, but it keeps us trapped in toxicity. And now that the curtain is been pulled back, hell, that curtain's on fire, right? Now that the curtain's gone, the illusions that kept us from acknowledging other people's realities also are are requiring us to look at our own realities. And for some people, that is being, that's a bridge too far for them, and they're mad. How dare we make them face themselves in the mirror? Not because their life did something to me, but because their life did something to them, right? Their life did something to them. So earlier, Michelle, you're like making the cuts to get rid of people because you recognize that these people are not serving you. Far too often, we have been able to work under the illusion that we can make it work. We can make it right if we just hang in there and be loyal, because nothing came along to shake that up. So I'm not giving this administration any credit for anything. I'm giving the shifting age the credit for saying it is now time to stop living in an illusion space. If you're going to if you're going to use illusions, use them to create a better life, not one where you're forced to hide. And I think that's a good place to be. Do I like it? No. I would prefer not to live in interesting times, to quote that proverb, that Chinese proverb. I don't want to live in interesting times. I want to live in boring times. But if I'm going to be forced to live in interesting times, I'm going to make sure that when I'm gone, 7 generations down the road, when they look back, they can say, my ancestor made choices that allow me to thrive today, that brought us forward. However that looks like, right? Like however that looks like 7 generations down the road, because it could be it could be my son, it could be my cousin's kids, right? It doesn't have to be, but it is part of our line, is more than just us. And I've always had this mindset that I want to be able to echo through the generations behind that are still to come, with a voice that they can look to and go, she did that. She broke some curses for us. She helped us in ways that we don't even understand, but they feel it, right? I know it's very woo woo right now. I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm not going to get too woo woo on y'all. I'm just saying that's part of how I think about my life and why I'm trying to do the work that I'm doing, as I want all of us to drop the illusions that have kept us in toxicity and embrace the illusions that make us happy. I mean, come on. Like, if you wake up pissed off, could you go watch a puppy or a kitten or something? And instead of getting on the internet and literally just blah all over everyone because you now have this undirected frustration that you didn't want to have to deal with, child, listen, every Friday, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Every Friday in my household, we watch something called We Rate Dogs. It's on YouTube. I think it's on Facebook, might be on TikTok. And there's this curly haired guy in glasses. And every Friday, he gives his top 10 dogs of the week. And throughout the week, he does other stuff. But my point is this: every Friday, that man shows up and talks about puppies. And an honorable mention might be a goat, could be a sheep, might be a pig, could be cats, all kinds of things. The point is, I have my entire family saying the dogs are good again this week because every Friday we all, whatever device we're on, wherever we are, we watch the top 10 dogs of the week be good boys and girls. Why do I do that? Because in the midst of all this trauma dumping, which is by design, by the way, in the midst of all the trauma dumping that people do to get the clicks, to make us crazy, to push us into fight or flight, into that is a vein, is a lane that we are all able to walk if we choose to. And it's the lane that says, I don't need your illusions of the world being on fire. I already know the world's on fire. I know that. It's been on fire my whole life. It's been on fire my parents' whole life. This country wasn't even segregated until how many years ago, right? Like the world's always been on fire for people. But into that fire is a lane of water, is a river of water. And on that river are places of peace. And while I'm trying to figure out how to put out the fires, I'm also focused on how I can put some peace into my day. So the dogs are good again this week. And we go and watch them and we laugh and we think about little cuddle buddies. And we remember that for every toxic thing out there, there's something that's not toxic. We have to decide where we're going to put our attention. Because the more we put our attention on the things that are burning down all the time, the less we can focus on putting out the fire that we can actually put out. The one that we can actually do something about. All right, I got heavy there at the end. I'm sorry. Y'all know me. I get a little heavy sometimes. I hope that this was a good little chat break. I'm so excited that you came and you joined me. Michelle, please get better. We're rooting for you. We're sending good vibes your way. We're sending lots of love and hugs and healing your direction. Drink your tea. Hopefully you got some good healing tea. That mint tea is pretty good for at least just feeling a little bit better because mint does open up these airways, oddly enough. Um, it's just, I want you all to find a place of peace in your day today because the world is on fire and people are steadily adding some kerosene. We're going to add some flame retardant. Okay, we're going to add some flame retardant, and that's what Tuesdays at 11 is, a little flame retardant against the world being on fire. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see y'all on Thursday when the next video drops, and interspersed here and there with messages. If you think this message could benefit others and you think folks might like to join us, click like, subscribe, and share because it convinces the algorithm to push us out there. Take care, everyone, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.